Hello and welcome to Best of the Bets. My name's Christina Nicolaides. We are looking at Sunday's Premier League action and some of the European games. I have our regular guests. I have Sam Diamond, who's our football expert and editor of bestofthebets.com. I've also got our Heaven Bet bookie extraordinaire, Mr. Gareth Walker. Welcome.
Thank you.
We are going to look at Tottenham versus Fulham first of all.
Tottenham 1.45, draw 4.5 and Fulham 7.8.
Purely given the fact that their away record in London derbies is nothing short of diabolical. They won one of the last 43 in the Premier League. So I can't see them really going to White Hart Lane on Sunday and giving Tottenham a game, even though Tottenham have been playing in Milan on Thursday. Fulham have been just haven't really raised their game against the top teams this season. They've lost to the teams in the top three. They've lost the other five already, and that includes a 3-0 home defeat to Spurs earlier in the season. So I'd love to make a case for them here, but I just can't. Gareth Bale as well, we worth remembering, he was suspended for the game in Inter Milan, so he'll be refreshed. He actually scored his first Tottenham goal against Fulham, so he's got fond memories of playing them. And I just can't see anything. Tottenham are very short of the prices, so I'm going to go Tottenham half-time, full-time.
Gareth, anything to add?
Tottenham half-time, full-time is priced at 2.1. If you fancy Bale, he's 3.9. And I was looking to take them on post-Europa, but yeah, Fulham aren't really the vehicle that I want to use to take them on with, really. I prefer the draw half-time, Spurs full-time, actually, at 4.3. Could be a fairly slow start. Tottenham like to just nick a lot of games by one goal, really. So
the second London derby, we've got Chelsea versus West Ham. Do West Ham really stand a chance for this game?
Well, their away record would suggest not. Chelsea 1.4, the draw 5. West Ham 8.8. I mean, there's a couple of really tempting big prices away from home here.
Yeah, but as you say, I don't think Fulham are a team to get with. I don't really think West Ham are the kind of team to get with away from home. Although it's worth remembering they did beat Chelsea at Upton Park earlier in the season, but their away form is so bad.
That's the season high point, wasn't it?
It is, and we look at the run they went on in the aftermath of that. They've won at Stoke recently, which is a boost that they can do it on the road, but Stoke were very poor. But that's probably a win that is good enough to keep West Ham in the division this season. As for Chelsea, well, Benitez proved that he did know what he was doing with those substitutions at United in the Cup, because it turned the game around. They came back and they should have won it. They should have gone on and won it.
Yeah.
So there's a fighting spirit there that maybe we haven't given Chelsea credit for in recent weeks. All this belief that they struggle in front of their home fans. They've actually won the last 3 at home now. Yeah. So they're on a run. I can't really see West Ham stopping them. No. Chelsea have won 10 of the last 13 games against West Ham, and it's quite a fierce rivalry that Chelsea seem to come out on top in. Again, they're a short price, so what I'm going to do here, we've spoken about Tottenham, I'm going to add Chelsea and Tottenham together in a double, which pays around even money. Yeah,
it's just a shade over 2.03. Without a doubt, that's going to be a very popular way of playing these two games, because individually, maybe thinking 1.4, 1.45, but yeah, put them together, just over doubling your money if they both win. Yeah. And bearing in mind their opposition, I can't make a case for Fulham or West Ham. Chelsea minus 1.5 on the Asian handicap, so they have to win by 2 or more goals. That's priced at odds against 2.1, and that's the way I'd like to go with this, because I think Chelsea, assuming that, well, I think they should win, and I think they should win comfortably, so that's the way to go.
OK. Next game, we are moving on to Wigan versus Newcastle.
Yeah, prices for this one, Wigan 2.3, the draw's 3.5. Newcastle 3.2.
Normally, I think me and Gareth are both very keen to take on a team in league action when they're sort of going well in cups. But I just think the manner of that win at Everton, it's really got to be a confidence boost to them, surely.
Yeah. Well, it seemed a lot of surprise. Wigan played really well, but there wasn't a surprise that they were playing really well. There was a bit of a surprise that they actually put it together and delivered such a fantastic victory.
The finishes for McManaman's goal and Gomez's goal as well, they were both really, really smartly taken. But they can take that kind of confidence into this game.
They have been playing well. They've been playing really well, but the problem has been letting in stupid goals at the back and not finishing off some of these chances.
But that's key, because they've not won in 7 home games in the Premier League, and they've conceded in every single home match this season. That's where they're going wrong.
Changed their goalkeeper last Saturday.
Yeah, was that for the cup or was that because?
Well, you'd highlighted El Hadji as a howler waiting to happen. So maybe they will keep that change. Difficult to know.
They've got a good record against Newcastle as well, especially at the DW Stadium. They've won 5 of their 6 meetings in the Premier League, and that includes the 4-0 win last April. So I think they'll be very pleased to be playing Newcastle here, especially one who have been in sort of gruelling Europa League action on the Thursday night. I think they'll beat Newcastle.
I keep looking at this Newcastle. The one thing that I seem to agree with Newcastle fans is that Younes Cabaye is a fantastic player. It's difficult to overstate how important he is to them. 20 games that he hasn't started this season, Newcastle have won 3 of them, 15% of games. 21 games that he has started and they've won 9 of them, 43%. There's no player with anything like that level of influence on a team's results this season or in any season.
That was a beautiful and precise goal that Johan Cabaye scored.
He's different gear.
It's lucky because if his injury had kept him out for the whole season, you think Newcastle will probably be kissing goodbye to their Premier League status.
That's very good, very good.
Oh.
I like bets such as both teams to score here, 1.65, over 2.5 goals, 1.8. Yeah, that'd be the way.
I'm very bullish about Wigan because Newcastle have been poor away from home this season. Since they got that win at Villa, they've lost the 2 games since. So, yeah, I really like Wigan this Sunday.
Right, well, I'm going to disagree with you, Sam. We are going to find out, though, what Mike Holden has to say about this particular game.
I fancy goals at the DW Stadium on Sunday. It's an interesting match-up between two teams, very different styles. Wigan's, are very sort of comfortable on the ball, keep lots of possession, play the game the way a lot of people like to see it played. Newcastle are very more direct, probably the most direct team in the Premier League, and don't really need many chances to score a goal. They've got attacking threats, coming from midfield all over the pitch, coming from both sides. So I think it's one of those games where it could get a bit tit for tat. I think Newcastle go there full of confidence, but Wigan won't be short of confidence themselves after that fantastic FA Cup win at Everton. They're heading to Wembley now, so even though they're in the bottom 3, they've got every reason to believe that they can get the results they need to get themselves out of trouble. And so it's not so necessarily so easily to predict which way the game will go. I think most people will probably side towards Wigan. But for me, the value is in playing the goals market because I think both teams will have a say in the outcome. I don't think it'll be straightforward.
Well, it sounds like he's after goals there. Over 2.5 goals in the game is 1.8. Both teams to score, fairly short at 1.65, but it looks a very solid bet.
OK, we're going to move on to Sunderland versus Norwich. Sunderland 6 games without a win.
This is a massive game for them. They're 2.1 to win this, but make no mistake, if they don't win this game, they're in such trouble. They got United, Chelsea, Newcastle and Everton the next 4 games after this. Draw 3.5 and Norwich are 3.8. I
think you're both right. I think this is huge for Sunderland. By no means out of this relegation battle yet. And they're on form. They're the poorest side in the Premier League at the moment. You say they haven't won in 6. They've lost 4 of the last 5. And were pretty abject against QPR. So they have got a good record against Norwich. They've won the last 4 home meetings with them without conceding a goal.
Yeah.
And I think goals is going to be an issue this weekend at both ends because Norwich have had more 0-0 draws than any side in the top divisions in Europe. So there's going to be very little in it, I say. But just, I don't want to be getting with Sunderland at the moment. It's not the way they're playing. I'm going to go with Norwich to nick this one.
Yeah, I couldn't be back in Sunderland. One thing worth remembering, if you want to place a bet on this game on first goal scorers or correct scores, Heaven Bet refund losing correct scores or first goal scorers on any Premier League match where the game finishes 0-0. You'd have to think this is a runner. I think Norwich 4 goalless draws. Yeah. The fact they've only scored in 2 of their last 9 games is just a worry. They're just sort of limping over the line. Yeah, I think it could well be 0-0 actually. 8.9. I wouldn't really be keen to back either of these sides. So yeah, I guess the safe option there. To look at the draw, or specifically 0-0 at 8.9.
We are going to move on to European action, and we're going to look at AC Milan versus Palermo. Now, bearing in mind this is almost like top versus bottom, but I quite fancy Palermo to take on AC Milan. Yeah.
I actually I've got a sneaking fancy for them here, but price is 1.25 Milan, draw 5.7, and Palermo 11.2.
Well, I can tell you straight away that you're both wrong. No way did Palermo win this. It'll be interesting to see how how Milan bounce back from that Champions League. Surrendering that lead to Barcelona will be a huge disappointment. But what they have got is they can bring Mario Balotelli back in, who was cup-side, because they were very much playing sort of a second-string strike force because Pizzini was injured as well. They have got a host of injuries, but they'll still be too good to deal with Palermo because to be honest, the club this season have been an absolute shambles. They've changed manager again.
How many is that? I've lost track.
I think it's
five, six.
I think it's 5 for the season, but it's Giuseppe Sannino who's come back in. It's his second spell in charge after Gasparini got kicked out for the second time this season.
It's not really. You're the best man. Oh, no, maybe you, or maybe you. No, you can have another.
Maurizio Zamparini is the president. He's made 51 changes in his time in football, which is astonishing. And Palermo have actually had more managers than wins this season. So there's very little reason to be wanting to back them. Their away form, I know Gareth's going to talk about it, is terrible. They've won one of the last 33 in the past 2 seasons. And when these two met at the end of October, there was just 3 points separating the team. That gap's now 30. So there are no reasons to be backing Palermo this weekend.
Well, the reasons are when you look at the price and you see Milan at 1.25, even going half-time, full-time, you're getting 1.6. Question marks for me. One, how do Milan respond? Because they'll be bitterly disappointed.
Yeah.
I really thought that they would get through in Barcelona.
I think everybody
and
did.
They were blitzed. And it could be a frustrating afternoon for them. And if you get to half-time and you're still 0-0 with Palermo and you just think, well, we got hammered in Barcelona in the week, you know, heads could drop a little bit. Palermo haven't won away, as Sam points out, and they have got this horrific away record. Delving a little bit deeper, the last 10 away games, they've been creating more than you would expect for a team down there.
Yeah.
Only scoring sort of 8% of the chances created. Their home and away records over the season in Serie A are actually very similar in terms of what they're producing on the field. The results certainly don't back that up. But just looking at the prices, I can't quite pull the trigger at 11.2, but I certainly want to get with Palermo on the Asian handicap. 1 plus 1.5, so Palermo, you're getting Palermo win, you're getting the draw. You're getting Palermo losing by 1 goal as well, is just a shade over even money.
I don't necessarily think Milan will blow them away because I just don't really think that kind of performance is in their nature. But I certainly think it will be a comfortable victory. So.
Okay, right, so on our final game that we are looking at, and it's Saint Etienne versus Paris Saint-Germain.
4th versus 1st, Saint Etienne 3.2, the draw's 3.3, and Paris Saint-Germain 2.4.
9 points separate these teams.
They do, and St Etienne, they've looked good at various times this season, and every time you think they're going to make a real challenge, it kind of falls away. But now they are really on form. I think they're 9 unbeaten. They inflicted Paris Saint-Germain's first defeat this season, and they look really good value here, I think, to beat them again, because they're just playing some really nice football, and the man that the tabloids like to call Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, he's in fine goal-scoring form once again, 8 goals in the last 7 Ligue 1 games. It looks a surefire bet to be off to a bigger club in the summer. But I just don't know how PSG are going to deal with him, because he was the match winner when they met before. And PSG just haven't really been convincing of late.
I think the reason PSG haven't been convincing is because their players have got are thinking about bigger games ahead. I think motivation was the problem. Sochaux, Reims, Nancy, very poor really in all 3 of those games. But I think this is a big game. This is one of their big games. So I'm going to go with PSG. 2.4 is enough to tempt me in.
See, I'm not convinced that PSG have really performed in the big games, because for all their dominance, or the dominance that they should have in that league, they've only won 5 of their 12 games against teams in the top half. So they haven't been convincing. And I just don't know. I think St Etienne are a much more balanced side than Marseille when they met. Marseille met PSG in the Classic a couple of weeks ago. I think this is a home win.
Best bet for Sunday, Sam?
I'm going to go Wigan Athletic to beat Newcastle, carry on last week's fine form, 2.3.
Okay, thanks for that. I'm going to go Newcastle to win by 1 goal.
That's priced at 4.7. I'm going to leave England. I'm going to go into Italy for my best bet.
Yeah.
And this Palermo loving I'm having. Palermo plus 1.5 on the Asian handicap is priced at 2.
All right, I hope we're both right there.
If Palermo win next week, I will do this show in a Palermo shirt.
I'd rather, if Palermo win, you take us out and buy us lunch.
That's not going to happen.
Remember, for you to place your bets on any of this weekend's action and more, check out our website, www.heavenbet.com. You can tweet us at Best of the Bets, and you can also watch this show back on www.bestofthebets.com. We will see you same time, same place next week. See you then. Bye-bye.